is up, everyone? This is TechIMP4, and this is why I think the PS2 was ahead of its time. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So the PS2 was released on March 4th, 2000. That's actually only in Japan. But it was released in North America on October 26, 2000. And in Europe, it was released in November 24th, 2000. And in Australia, November 30th, 2000. Why am I saying that? You better find out. The PS2 actually sold 158 million units. That's more than any console has ever sold till this day. That just shows how good this thing was. The PS2 was actually released to compete with the Sega Dreamcast. I wonder who won that competition. And before you ask, this was actually not competing with the GameCube or the Xbox. It was when the GameCube and Xbox came out, around a year later. But I'm going to tell you, the Dreamcast, GameCube, and the original Xbox had nothing on the PS2. Now, one really popular feature about the PS2, it was actually reverse compatible, so it could play all your favorite PS1 games while playing your favorite PS2 games. That was one of the major things about the PS2. PS2 could actually play DVD disc and CD disc. Meaning, it can play all your favorite DVDs and all your favorite CDs. And by the way, DVD first released November 1st, 1996. That's only a couple years after this launched. The Sony PS2 case was actually based on an unreleased Atari. It was called the Atari Falcon 030 Microbox. And I'm pretty sure that was never released because I'm pretty sure Sony bought that design. It looks like it because it has these sharp edges with these lines. The PS2 also was really successful because of the games, like GTA San Andreas, Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy X, Silent Hill 2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, God of War 2, Gran Turismo 3, Gran Turismo 4, and Metal Gear Solid. But my personal favorite, Twisted Metal Head-On, including Twisted Metal Black, and Pac-Man World 2. These are both my personal favorite games on the PS2. That made it even more ahead of its time because of all the games. Mostly this was the first console to have a DVD drive in it, which made it really ahead of its time, including a CD drive. That's kind of overkill, but really good. And this console actually could connect to the internet via internet or landline. Not many people really knew about this, but it was kind of popular. Not really though. But yeah, obviously, this doesn't work anymore. It actually got shut down in 2016, which is pretty impressive for a 16-year-old console. Well, that's when it died out. Now it's more than 20 years old. But obviously, there's a lot of mods you can do to the PS2 to make this work, but I'm not really the type of person that would do that. Another reason why it was so ahead of its time is because how sleek and slim it was. Like, look how thin this is. And it's not that heavy. Would you compare that sleek, slim, and weight to this? No. Look at this beefcake. And this thing's pretty heavy. The GameCube was more tall than wide, and it had a top opening display, so this thing's so heavy I can't even hold it. Sony actually released a PS2 Slim, and that was pretty cheaper, which made it even more ahead of its time, because I'm pretty sure it's the first console to have a slim model. Count me if I'm wrong. And plus, the console is just really simple. But also, the PS2 is just so simple. You just put in a game and boom, you're playing. Of course, you have to have a memory card, but it was just such a simple console that made it even more popular and more ahead of its time. Before you say, it has a DVD and a CD drive, that must be really expensive. But the console was actually released at $299. That's actually cheaper than any DVD player at that time. So that's really impressive and even more ahead of its time. And another reason that this was so ahead of its time is the amount of controllers there were. Everyone knows the simple DualShock 2, but there was a lot of different colors of this, even see-through ones. There was a chainsaw for Resident Evil. There was some weird, I don't even know what to call it. There was even a glove you could put on your hand, so it's a controller on your hand. So that made it even more popular and ahead of its time. Because I'm pretty sure it's the first console to have a lot of those different types of weird variant controllers and a bunch of different color options. The PSP was also equivalent to the PS2, so that's actually pretty cool and made it even more ahead of its time because Well, Nintendo kind of did that first, but whatever. And the reason that was so ahead of its time is the graphics. Sony had a CPU that made advanced graphics and for more complex games. So this thing was not laggy and pretty powerful. And the other reason that was so ahead of its time is because it was actually more powerful than a PC, a personal computer. And that's actually pretty impressive, since PCs were really good back then. Well, not like really good, but pretty good. Before you go in the comments, the original Xbox was actually powerful than the PS2, but I'm leaving that out. We don't care. We don't care. I like this. The original Xbox is also really good too. I'm not hating. I love this console. There was actually different discs. There was actually different discs for the PS2. The normal ones you see were actually just, I mean, they look like a regular disc. But some of them were blue. And that means it's a CD and not a DVD. That just means the game's more smaller in megabytes. And the other reason why I was ahead of its time, the console actually had an 8 megabyte memory card, which is actually really impressive. And before you say 8 megabytes is not that much nowadays, but in the 2000s, this was a lot. I'm pretty sure you had to buy this adapter. I don't think it came with the PS2. Pretty sure you had to buy it. And the PS2 also had an optical port, which is, I'm pretty sure, if you use that, you can get way better sound. Count me if I'm wrong. I'm not really good on optical ports. The cool thing I wanted to point out is, you see this logo? Yeah, you can actually move it. So it depends if you have your console standing up or laying down. You can make the logo do that. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this, but not too many people know that, so I'm just pointing it out. Something I forgot to mention, I actually really like the blue color on the PS2. You know, the blue, the like bright blue turning into the dark blue. I just really like that feature. Wait, what? I like that color. And I like how it matches with every accessory. Well, not every accessory, but like the memory cards and controllers and stuff like that. Just something I wanted to point out. But anyways, that will be it for this video. I'll appreciate if you comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any console video ideas, please put them in the comments. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!